Thanks for joining me for this edition of the Church Security Answer Man. Do you ever think about what happens in these chaotic situations? We report on Lakewood shooting there at the church. We report on other churches and other chaos, pastors taken hostage. There's so many of these kind of violent things going on. But what can we do with our words? We forget about the words. And I want to challenge you that there are three words that we could use to maybe avoid chaos, avoid crisis, maybe avoid the violent intruder situation or shut it down as it begins to happen. We talk about not having firearms. We're not allowed to have guns, or we're upset because we don't have certain things that we can use or train on. But how about those words? They are very important and they're not a fix all, but let's talk about them because I want you to have something under pressure. I want you to have some words that you can go to make a habit. So I want to talk about this. The potential challenge that you have as a security team member is you might face a difficult person, a person that's in crisis, or a person that's becoming violent. They're an intruder. And if you have nothing else to rely on, I want to give you the words, but you may have other tools to rely on, but you could go to your words. And so, as we talk about it, we talk about de escalation and all those different terms, but I want to get right down to just the words, just that concept, because we can work towards by opening a person up and letting them talk, we can help them lower their emotions. They're jacked up, they're in crisis, they're stressed out, and we can begin to let them vent by sharing a few concepts and sharing three words that we can begin to use with them. These people, oftentimes they're in crisis because people don't want to listen to them. They've been whiners and complainers all their life, and people don't listen to them anymore. They don't have people to go to. People don't care is their perception. And so it may lead them down a road that puts them more and more in crisis. They may also have some mental health issues or other challenges going on in their lives. And we want to get them to a position where they really feel like we do care, we are listening, and give them the opportunity to vent. The power of these words is huge. And so let's talk about those words. We can put a general term on it. The first one, empathy, where we're putting ourselves in other person's shoes. And literally, we could tell them we're empathetic. We feel for, we care. And so, but putting yourself in that position of empathy is a huge deal. Understanding their emotions, acknowledging their perspective, making them feel like they're important, and really trying to put yourself in a position where you're trying to be understanding of their circumstances, which could be anger, could be drug use, could be mental health issues, or could be other crisis going on in their life, as we read about in different studies of the active shooters and those violent folks. So putting yourself in that empathetic position, a good position to be in, a good attitude to instantly have. We have to practice this stuff. That's why I want to talk about it with you. Number two is the idea of respect, is the concept that we respect them, treating them with dignity, acknowledging their worth as a human being, regardless of what their situation is, and literally being ready to communicate that. We don't talk about that, especially with people that are maybe threatening us or making us angry, but beginning to show respect to someone and acknowledge their worth as a human being. That can be so valuable because people get lost, especially those in crisis, those with mental health issues. They may be on the streets, they're coming to your church, and they feel abused, neglected, they're not respected the majority of the time. In fact, probably downright abused, verbally abused at least, as they are walking around our communities. And so sharing that with them can instantly change that person and instantly begin to open them up into what we're trying to do is release some of that negative energy, let them vent and make them feel important as they begin to vent. And then calm is the third concept, and not the words. We're going to the words. Maintaining a composed demeanor and tone, much like what we're doing right here in training, trying to stay with that, be calm. That can help diffuse tension. We may have heard it said as we can try to stay calmer than they are to try to get them to join us and move to our calmness and try to pull them in that direction instead of getting them more jacked up, if you will. That can help diffuse the tension and maybe prevent the situation from at least escalating further. And those are great overall strategies. And how do we really implement those strategies? We can, as part of empathy, we can listen actively, make eye contact with the person, validate their feelings, and avoid negative language. So we have to practice this stuff. It's good to get with one of your teammates and discuss this. How can we use our words and stay in calm and trying to practice respect? We can use polite words, non-confrontational language, and avoiding derogatory remarks, which again is sometimes hard to do because sometimes we may feel a bit negatively about these folks, especially if you have homeless people coming into your church all the time and they're maybe a pain or they're a pain in the community. You may develop negative feelings towards them, but we have to separate that. We have to get ourselves into a position of respect and understanding someone and caring about them and being appropriate with them, treating them like other people within our church or our ministries. And for as far as being calm, taking deep breaths yourself to stay relaxed and keep that tone and that volume, speaking a soft and steady tone, and avoid escalating the situation with your aggressive body language or gestures. We just want to stay calm, use our open palms and use our hands a little bit, make some eye contact with them, and just great tones with them, soft, and be gentle with them to try to encourage them. The allowing them to vent helps de-escalate them a bit, and also encouraging them in that direction by your tone and your volume and your body language as well is a great thing for us to do to help in a crisis or just a terrible situation. And you can role play with this, get together with someone and act out some things, maybe a story you've heard about even on our Church Security Answer Man channel or somewhere else, and try to role play what words might have been used on both sides. One of you take the violent person or angry person, and one of you play your role as a church security team member. Now, I want to make sure and mention here, words don't always work. I want to encourage you that they can be very beneficial to you, but they don't always work. So you got to be prepared for action as well. What's your defense plan? Hopefully, you have at least a second person with you if they're getting more and more violent or upset. Hopefully, maybe you have a third and you're calling the police or whatever that looks like. I want you to have other plans of action because we can't depend just on words, but words are a great thing for us to have. Let's get down to the actual words. I believe there's three words. We talked about three concepts of empathy, respect, and being calm. Now let's talk about the three words. And the three words that I think are very important for you to get into your crisis management vocabulary or dealing with a difficult or maybe even a violent person is listening. Listening is a great word, and we can use it as in example, I am listening. I'm listening to you. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening to you. And that can be very encouraging to open people up and let them talk, let them vent. And the great thing is when you do that, I bet these people oftentimes don't have anybody else, especially in your position, that is kind and says to them, I want to hear more. I want to listen to you. The second word is, I think, literally using the word understand. I want to understand. I want to clarify so that I can understand. Using the word understand, or as if I'm understanding you correctly, just clarifying something that they said. Using the word understand is a great tool for you in these crisis situations. So listening, understand, and the third one is the word help. Using that word help wherever you can. I want to help. I'm here to help. I want to help you find help. I want to seek out help for you in those different ways. Whenever you can use those three terms and those three concepts that we talked about here, I believe that is your best bet for crisis, for violence, for dealing with difficult people. Now, it's not the only, again, you need to be prepared for your action plans. But if you have no action plan, if you're stuck in a corner, if you're trapped by these people, or you're just trying to help them, maybe they're escalating, then these are the concepts that I would suggest to you that you look at for getting out of this situation or getting through this situation, and maybe helping somebody, or at least keeping yourself and your people safe. Thanks for joining me. Hey, please like and subscribe to this video, to this channel. We want to have you subscribed with us so that we can communicate with you back and forth, that you'll see our stuff when it comes out. And I want to be able to connect with you through comments. So leave us a comment down below, and then take a look at this next video in your journey. It's a great one for your journey in church security.